No.
Like, no one wants to watch a movie on how fucking Kenja Bane got into Costco. It's fucking boring.
Wow.
It's like
did the old-fashioned
Bad publicity.
They had a board meeting and
Anthony Lee's never extorted anybody in his life. And
But
that's why I don't wanna watch that
extortion?
movie.
dude, that's kind of cool.
You're too clean, dude.
I was fat. I pulled this one specifically for Joe.
Oh, Joe Jitsukawa.
Because it's an update on something that we had talked about that Joe brought up quite a while ago, and a very recent update has happened.
Origami dogs?
No, but very great guess. I shall Google that later.
Origami dogs.
U.S. fugitive known as
Fat Leonard.
Leonard.
I knew it.
Oh, that's your boy, dude.
Boy, Fat Leonard.
You broke that story.
has been apprehended in Venezuela after weeks on the run.
Wow. Dude, they caught up to that guy. Wow.
They did. Let me let's get a little bit of a visual.
Who's Fat Leonard again?
So he is the guy that... Wait, that's what he looks like?
That's what he looks like. He looks a little skinny. He's like Big Boy in the morning.
Like Indo or some shit. Wow.
I did too. I thought he was like.
Wait, isn't he kind of Indonesian or Southeast Asian looking? That fool looks like a Goomba. So Fat Leonard is the guy who started working up the ranks in this shipping company that would provide catering and things for major cruise ships and stuff. And then he got an account with the U.S. Navy. And when he was working for the U.S. Navy, he also became the go-to hookup for drugs, prostitutes, and anything the soldiers wanted. And then he worked up his ranks to high military officials, and then he basically blackmailed them and said, dude, I got all these photos of you fucking underage girls or whatever. Or he would bribe them and then like just be like, hey, dude, I know you like that Crown Royal, man. I'll hook you up some Crown Royal. Make sure all of the ships come through my port, because then he wanted all the business. So the Navy didn't need to, like, they're like, yo, this shit should be going to Yokohama. Why the fuck is it stopping in like Indonesia or whatever it was, right? And then so because he went up the chains to like such high levels of US Navy, and he had them all in his pocket, that he was making so much fucking money from the US taxpayers that all this shit came crumbling down when one of the Navy officials basically was caught cheating by his wife. And you know, women make the best detectives, right? Because when they suspect cheating, dude, they're MacGyver, like full on. So she went through his emails, all that shit, and then she just basically ratted him out to the Navy and be like, this motherfucker's been fucking hookers provided by your own, you know, fucking company and all this stuff. And then so they went and did this whole investigation, and they found out that Fat Leonard had the whole US Navy in his fucking pocket, and they're like, that is a security breach.
But imagine all the U.S. Navy soldiers just on the ship, like going in circles, and just be like, "Oh, what are we doing?" Yeah, I don't know.
Actually, a comment on this article was somebody commented and it said, my son was on one of the affected ships, LHD-2, and says that it was common knowledge that the ship would waste multiple days going to Fat Leonard's ports to re-provision.
Yep.
Oh, shit. Damn.
Yep, they're like, oh, wait, we got a
The
U-turn
cost
again.
per day must be insane.
So a military contractor known as Fat Leonard after pleading guilty in a major Navy corruption scandal, was apprehended in Venezuela. In order to do this, he cut off his ankle bracelet and fled, by the way. Leonard Glenn Francis, who was on house arrest in San Diego and weeks away from sentencing, removed his GPS tracker on September 4th.
I love how he was just on house arrest chilling in San Diego.
Dude, no wonder I would have tried to escape too.
Francis had pleaded guilty in 2015 to bribing Navy officials in a $35 million scandal.
Ooh.
Francis was captured by Venezuelan authorities, who had been made aware that he was on the run by Interpol as he was trying to board a plane bound for another country. Director General Interpol Venezuela said in a statement that Francis had entered the country from Mexico with a stopover in Cuba. His final destination was Russia. He was apprehended at Simón Bolívar International Airport and will remain in Venezuelan custody while U.S. Marshals and other federal authorities work out details of his extradition to the U.S. For that backstory, a little bit extra detail, he was arrested in 2013 and pleaded guilty to offering $500,000 in bribes to Navy officers who in exchange shared classified information with him and redirected military vessels to port that would be beneficial for his Singapore-based ship servicing company. The $35 million comes from the fact that Francis and his firm overcharged the U.S. military more than $35 million for constantly stopping into his ports and everything like that. Damn. And he's been under house arrest since 2018.
That's how he made a lot of money too. Is like he would, let's say, you know, do all the catering for the military and charge a lot for like chicken or something.
And they would let him because they're getting greased on the side.
Yeah, the officials would let him, but also, you know, they were.
Or was that just the upcharge
blackmail
for
or-
everything else?
Yeah, like they, you know, he was just making money in every different way, you know?
Why is corruption so cool?
It's pretty cool.
You know what I mean? Because if you're like, hey, dude, I landed this thing where like they carry my new like gummy snacks, you know, in Costco. You're like, oh, that's a good job, dude. You know, but then when you're like, hey, dude, so like I paid this fucking politician, and he's gonna put my gummy snacks in every single 7-Eleven in Costco. We're like, what? You paid him? He's like, yeah. Cause I got all these photos of this guy fucking all these chicks. It's like 10
To
times
get your
cooler all of a
gummies in
sudden.
Costco.
You're like, man, that was a sweet business move by you, Bart. You're like, yep.
Why is it so cool?
Pretty
man?
smart.
Because you don't want to watch a movie on the other one.
No.
Like, no one wants to watch a movie on how fucking Kenya Bang got into Costco. It's fucking boring. It's like,
did the old-fashioned
Bad publicity.
they had a board meeting, and
Anthony Lee's never extorted anybody in his life. And
But
that's why I don't wanna watch that
extortion?
movie.
dude, that's kind of cool.
You're too clean, dude.
I was fat.
But what does that have to do with Costco?
I don't know, this guy's name is Fat Leonard.
Did they charge any of the Navy officers?
They should, but
They should, dude.
not a lot of
Of course not, I don't know.
There was some scapegoats, lower ranking, but that's one of the things when I watched that documentary, it was like, yeah, it's because Leonard was just providing a service, right?
Yeah, they're the ones
And-
asking for that shit.
Exactly. Like it's all started because the Navy guys were asking them, "Hey, you know where I could get some ecstasy?"
Yeah.
Or like, "Hey, we're just trying to do this like super nice dinner. Can you find us
Some prostitutes.
some expensive steaks or whatever?" So it all started from that, which ended up with prostitution and all that. And then Leonard was like, "Oh, these guys are fucking scumbags. Let me just take a picture or record them partying and cheating on their wives and all that." And then he was just providing a service. Does he? I don't know. So for me, I'm conflicted, right? It's like if the corrupt people that want these services didn't exist in the first place, Leonard would have no power. But it's our own U.S. Navy service people that are asking for the service.
Yeah.
If it wasn't Fat Leonard,
They
it
made
could have been
him.
somebody else.
Exactly.
Are you saying that our high-ranking officials should be the ones that are criminalized in this?
I mean,
Fuck yeah.
It's
I
got to
think
be
it's
high ranking.
both.
Right? It has to be high
It's
ranking.
gotta be, dude.
Because then they're the ones who can make the call.
Yeah, it has to be the high ranking because they could always be like, no, nobody gets the pussy.
And then the high-ranking ones making it so that our tax dollars are being fucking overspent on all this shit because of their own selfish reasons.
Yeah, very true.
Probably the same motherfuckers visiting Epstein's Island too.
Exactly.
I wonder how they're escaping prosecution in this case. What are they saying? Are they like,
He's the fall guy, Fat
Yeah, they
Leonard.
probably just get a fall guy.
are they just saying he took advantage of us?
Yeah, we didn't know. Or,
They do that.
just a couple of
They talk
lower
about
ranking
that, too.
scapegoats.
Because I think the top guys are too high up for them to lose.
They're not gonna touch him.
Because then it looks bad on the U.S.
Those
government.
are
Yeah.
made men.
Yeah, they're
They're
made.
made men, dude.
And on top of that, like, think about the security threat if we lose some like super admiral general level people.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Then it's
yeah,
like,
true,
dude, these
yeah.
guys are like top brains.
If you
you
fuck
know?
those guys, they're gonna get you back.
You're
yeah.
cutting off the head of the snake.
Corruption, dude. I think I could be good at corruption.
You think you could be good?
I think you're way too honorable.
No, yeah, you'll be sad after.
You would get crushed in the first day, dude.
You're not very sexually aroused by power, so I don't think.
You don't know that. You don't know that about me. I think we all are. We just haven't got a taste of it yet. Once we get that sweet taste,
You would be a good corruption cosplayer.
I was a pretty honorable criminal.
ain't got
I
it
wouldn't
in
even
you.
cheat on my test.
I would cheat on my test, so that's how I know I would be.
I don't like corruption.
I just want a shot. Just give me a shot out there, okay?
I do like justice, though.
Just give me a shot.
The first activities of the conspiracy were confirmed to have existed in 2006 when Francis recruited numerous Navy personnel to engage in corruption, including directing contracts toward his firm, disfavoring competitors, and inhibiting legitimate fiscal and operational oversight. The initial co-conspirators labeled themselves, quote, the cool kids and, quote, the wolf pack. U.S. federal prosecutors filed criminal charges against 33 individuals.
Lock them up.
Yeah, 33 individuals in connection with the Fat Leonard scandal. Of those, 22 pleaded guilty. Francis himself, 4 of his top aides, and 17 Navy officials, specifically at least 10 commissioned officers, 2 petty officers, 1 former NCIS special agent, and 2 civilian Navy contracting officials. 9 others are awaiting trial in U.S. District Court in San Diego.
I just want to say that why do they call him Fat Leonard?
Because he's fat.
Yeah, but why can't he just be Leonard? Yeah, but nobody's like fat President Trump. It's just President Trump. Do you know what I mean?
Because president is already like there's only 2 words.
That's his nickname. President Trump.
But there's a bunch of Leonards out there, so you need to know which Leonard.
The fat one.
The fat one.
Yeah.
Got it.
I think that was the code, too. That could even be the code of
Like a
what
call
the investigators, that's his nickname, Fat Leonard or something like that.
They're very not body positive.
No.
So that's your issue with it? They're like, cut him some slack, man. You're like, he's not even that fat.
It might be one of those things where he never even called himself that, and he never even knew people called
He's
him.
like, wait, you guys are calling me fat this whole time?
Once the case gets out, he's like, "Are you fucking serious?
I worked really hard on my weight,
All
man.
my Navy homies were calling me Fat Leonard."
50 pounds, yo.
Do you think that's why there's always a Fat Tony in an Italian group because everyone's named Tony? So they're like, which Tony? Fat Tony.
Yeah, you're not gonna say skinny Tony. You're just gonna say small Tony or Tony, little Tony.
Yeah, little Tony.
Fat Tony, little Tony.
Skinny Tony, you call him Tony Bones.
Tony
Yeah.
Tony Bag of Bones, dude.